Woo. Dirtiness. YouTube, what's good? What's good? It's football week. See if more people pop in here. If anybody pops in here, we'll talk some football. Keys to victory for the Las Vegas Raiders. Quite the challenge. Quite the challenge coming up for both teams. Both teams. New coaches. New offensive coordinator. New but old offensive coordinator. So we'll break down scoring, predictions, keys to victory, and all that. Monday night scrutiny. I should have put that on there. Raiders Rebel Unleashed. Yo, what's good? What's good? Let's fucking go. What it do? What it do? All right, man. So the Raiders have made some signings. There's not too many people are gonna pull up. Las Vegas Raiders. Where they at? What's good? What's good? Welcome, welcome. How's everybody's night going? Sorry for the late live. It's been one of those days. Been one of those days. Raider fan for life. What's good? How are you, man? Salute to you. I hope your night is going well. I don't know what you're saying. I ain't got no glasses. Put on my eyeballs like an old man. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I know it's going to take a minute when you do pop-up lives. It usually does. It usually does. All right, so here we are. Transactions. It's good, it's good. Why isn't it the same on here as it is on the phone? Very irritating. What's good? What's good? How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome, welcome to Raiders Unleashed. My shirt will be here in 2 days. I'm so excited for the merch. I'm so excited for you to get it. It's been a long time. You know, you've been a loyal supporter to the channel. And I told you I'd take care of you, so. Like I said, let me know when it comes in. Take pictures. Would love to see. Alright, what's going on with this thing? Roster. What do y'all think about the Raiders' new quarterback? Did we need a quarterback? Raider Nation for life. What's good? Your screen is a bit dirty. Man, I thought I cleaned that. Let me try again. It's probably just all the moisture in the air. Or that bright ass light in y'all's face. In my face. How about that? A little better? A little better? Alright, transactions. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. I don't know why my damn computer just switched screens on me. It was bad. You know, everything we do pretty much is. So the Raiders signed linebacker Brian Asamoah, number two. And also quarterback Jeff Driscoll. Did they get it mixed up? Instead of the QB, we needed a CB. I think they got it mixed up. However, they released linebacker Matt Jones, which I figured was just a matter of time. Raiders, you know, had a little bit of flashes, not enough flashes to keep when you already have 7 linebackers, 6 linebackers on the roster, and 2 more on the practice squad. we need corners. We need corners. We need depth at corner. And they decided to let Trey Taylor go. So Mike Jones, Trey Taylor have been released from the Las Vegas Raiders. Best wishes on your future endeavors. I really thought Trey Taylor was going to stick around. You know, it's a guy that we kind of need. I figured. What's good? Pink Ostrich? What's good, Pink Ostrich? What is your question? I might have an answer. I don't know. But what do y'all think about Brian Asamoah the second? From the eye test, that dude is jacked. That's all I know. That's all I know. Haven't watched any film. Haven't got to break down any film. Maybe I'll pull some up right here as I'm talking to y'all. I don't know. But from what I've seen physically, he's a physical specimen, bro, and he's gonna be nasty. If we could just get our linebacker coach, who a lot of people are overlooking, who's been with Pete Carroll for 13 years, 13 out of his 40 years, I think we're gonna be all right. I think we're gonna be all right. So we went and got another linebacker, which leaves a lot of questions, right? Leaves a lot of questions. Are they still not good with Jermaine Pratt, who Pete Carroll talks a lot about? Devin White, who he's mentioned an awful lot. Is there something going on? Is this Raider coaching staff not good with the linebackers we have? You know, they let go a guy like Amari Gaynor, who I thought was going to make the roster. You know, a former UDFA, a guy that played for Florida State, a guy that played for North Carolina. Shout out to Florida State, and Amari Gaynor was there, you know, posted on his Twitter account. This shadow is killing me. That's a little bit better. So yeah, they go and get another linebacker, man. Maybe it's, you know, he's better at coverage. If he's as fast as he looks strong, then it's going to be a great addition. But Jeff Driscoll leaves a lot of question. Are they planning on moving from Aiden O'Connell when he comes back off the IR? I don't feel they are. But why go get another quarterback? It just makes no sense to me. What is your question? Your question is a question? What the hell? Lawrence, what's good? I did not see Lawrence in here. Weird. Horror Fanatic, what's good? Grim, appreciate you pulling up. Anybody else I missed? Pink Ostrich, what's good? Do you think women are the downfall in this country? Downfall to what? Downfall to what? Shane Butler, what's good, man? What's good? How are you doing? It's been a minute. You ready for the Eagles-Raiders game? It's a little far out, but I know you are. But come on, man. Like, don't erase the dude's question. What's wrong with you? Oh, you didn't. I don't know what you erased. You erased your own shit? Eagles are going back-to-back. Man, I told you, picking up Jacorian Bennett was going to be special for y'all. And I told everybody he was going to be the starter on that team. And everybody told me I was stupid, right? No way Jacorian starts. He's going to be a backup. We shall see. We shall see. I believe he's the starter day one. Y'all got a damn good one, man. Jacorian is a dog, bro. Trading Jacorian Bennett has... if I sub, can you... Yeah, man. I'll sub back. Absolutely. Shit, I'll sub right now if I can. No, it won't let me sub. But I will. I got you. I'll make a note here. Let me screenshot it. Just in case I forget your shit. Boom! There you go. Alright, I'll sub back. Appreciate the sub. Not the roster I was looking at. But let's get into this roster, man. Let's get into this Patriots game breakdown. And dude, with this the downfall of this country is ignorance. Shout out to that. Shout out to that. That might be the comment of the day. The downfall of this country is 100% absolute ignorance. I don't know how the downfall of a country could be women when you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a woman. Now, maybe nowadays and in the future, you might not need women to have kids, but you wouldn't be here without a woman, bro. So how are they the downfall? Not that's absolutely not. Absolutely not. You'd have a bunch of homosexuals running around. It's like, is that what you want the country to be? With a population that's dying off because there's, no women around to have our babies, bro. Like, you're crazy, bro. We need women. That's the dumbest question I ever heard. Ask your mom that question. Just saying. I'm so pumped. Better than other states. PA's teams are better than other states. I mean, yeah, but we don't know. We don't know, right? We don't know what they're going to be. A lot of teams seen that if you don't stop Saquon Barkley, you don't win. So I think a lot more teams are going to be, stacking the box a lot against the Eagles and testing, to see if Jalen Hurts really is a top 10 quarterback. That's a huge question right now, right? That's what everybody wants to know. Is Jalen Hurts a top 10 quarterback? Well, I mean, we'll find out this year. He's going to be tested. But enough of that. Let's get into some of this. Wait. Did it all just disappear, bitch? Alright, here we go. That's not the roster I wanted. Dadgum! What's going on? Boom. Alright, let's try this again. So the Las Vegas Raiders, man. I love that we are going to be Super Bowl champions again. No one can stop the Eagles but the Eagles. I wouldn't say that, bro. God could stop the Eagles. A lot of defenses in the NFL could stop the Eagles. Injuries could stop the Eagles. Sickness, death. Like, don't say nothing can stop your team, bro, because that's not, you don't want to put that out in the universe, man. However, they do have a damn good team. They do have a great coach. They do have a well-run organization. And they should be contenders again. But don't underestimate anybody in that division, right? The Cowboys. I can't say that without laughing because they got rid of Micah. You never know what the Cowboys are going to do in that division. You never know what the Commanders are going to do in that division. And you never know the Giants, right? The Giants got Russell Wilson. So, you got a tough division, man. That's going to be a tough division. Just like the Raiders. We got the same thing, right? 3 playoff teams. Y'all could possibly have that in that division too. And unfortunately for the Raiders, we play everybody in that division this year. It's going to be a tough division. Every team got better this year. So don't underestimate anybody. I think I'm learning that by predicting the Raiders to be 12-5 this year. I'm going to stick to it. But it doesn't look good. I'm saying that I'm a huge person that I believe in America is hell right now because of the mental health. People running out doing crazy weird stuff in the USA. But our president is trying to help us get back on the path. I mean, I don't want to talk politics. Everybody has, their own beliefs. And you're right. The country is wild. Whether you believe in the Bible, whether you don't, whether you believe in science, whether you believe in anything, the world is falling apart. It's definitely falling apart. And the only way we can fix it is love. uh, but all right, man. So let's get into this. The Patriots. The Patriots week 1. We have Kashan Booty. Bote. How do you say his name? Is it Booty? Bowdy? um, you know, their left wide receiver. Behind him, we have former Raider Mac Hollins. Now, your number 1 receiver is going to be Stefon Diggs. That's going to be a challenge for Eric Stokes. It's going to be a hell of a challenge for Eric Stokes. Can you match up against Stefon Diggs? I know Jacorian Bennett played his ass off against Jamar Chase last year and shut him down, but he's no longer on the team. So we have Eric Stokes, and if Eric Stokes can't do it, behind him we have DeCamarion Richardson, which, you know, going into his second year, he's looked good in the offseason, looked good in the preseason. So we shall see, man. We shall see. Behind him you have Kyle Williams, right? A rookie. A guy that definitely is going to make some noise on this roster. Depending on how fast he learns, you know, the offense, learns the pace of the NFL, he's going to be a hard cover, right? Definitely going to be a hard cover. So then you got Demario Douglas, which I believe is what, third year, going into his third year. Another hard cover. It's going to be a lot of question, right? Is it going to be Darian Porter Jr. on him? Is it going to be Kai Blue Kelly? We don't know, right? We don't know. Which is a problem. Going into week 1 and you're going with corner by committee, it's a scary sight. It's a scary sight. I think our corners, besides Stefon Diggs, I think we match up well. Even though they're young, in a cover 3, you know, in a 4-3 base defense, I think we match up well. If we got to play one-on-one, hopefully they're not playing 10 or 15 yards off like Patrick Graham loves to do, hopefully. But if we play a little bit of press, you know, in that 4-3, I believe the Raiders will be all right. I believe their corners are going to stack up better than a lot of people believe. And it'll be a big test. It's going to be a huge test because, you know, we have Drake May going into his second year, who I think is going to be a problem in the NFL. I think this dude, sucks he's with the Patriots, could have a Tom Brady type year. I mean career. You never know. You never know. Josh McDaniels did it with Brady. I believe Drake May is way more athletic than Tom Brady ever was. I know he doesn't have the intelligence. He has the arm strength, and, you know, thank God Brady is not in their building and he is in our building, which I don't know if that helps any. So I'm gonna say it's even. I'm gonna say it's even between our wide receivers and their wide receivers and our defensive backs. I'm gonna say it's even. Next, the offensive line, right? They have Will Campbell, who said he will die on that hill to protect his quarterback. I love that in this kid. I love everything about this kid. Some people say his arms are too short. That could be a problem, right? Could be a problem. Did I watch the TCU game? I watched parts of it. I predicted them to win. Did they win? LVR, what's good? The one, what's good, what's good? Xavion, is that how you say that? I'm horrible at pronouncing people's names. What's good, my guy? So, Will Campbell. Then you also have Jared Wilson, left guard, also drafted this year. So you have two young offensive linemen. Who's going to be going up against him, right? Will Campbell. Normally you would think it's going to be Malcolm Kuntz. But from what I've seen in the preseason, you have no idea. Max Crosby was all over the place. He was playing the 2-tech, the 3-tech, the 4-tech, the 5-tech. It didn't matter. Max Crosby went wherever he wanted to go. So will it be Max Crosby lined up against Will Campbell? That's going to be a matchup I want to see. The problem is Max Crosby's Max Crosby's arms are probably like 6 inches longer than Will Campbell. That's going to be a problem for a rookie going against, an all-pro defensive end like Max Crosby. If he is on that side, if he's not, he's going to have even more of a problem with Malcolm Kuntz and his bend and his speed. So, my 2 cents. What's good? Appreciate you dropping in. It was like 40-7 in the third. Oh my god! While Belichick's girl was up there trying to get some Randy Moss D, and not the D he played against. I'm just saying. So that's gonna be a matchup to watch, right? It's gonna be a damn good matchup to watch. Will Campbell really be going against Max Crosby. Most of the time, I think it's gonna be against Malcolm Kuntz. He's gonna have his work cut out for him. And then next to him at the left guard, you got back-to-back rookies. More than likely, in my opinion, it's gonna be Jonah Lalu. If not, it could be Thomas Booker, it could be Adam Butler, but more than likely, I think it's gonna be Jonah Lalu going up against a rookie. That's gonna be a fun matchup to watch, right? If you like the trenches, if you like watching, the grind on the inside from the big sweaty hogs, it's gonna be a matchup right there. It's gonna be a matchup. Then you have Garrett Bradbury at center. Behind him, my guy Ben Brown, former Las Vegas Raider. But Bradbury, I mean, I don't know what scheme they run over there. I think they run a lot of zone. So most of the time, the center's going to be doubling. We run more than likely, right, a 4-3. So 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. Get to the quarterback a lot, right? So that center is mainly going to be doubling most of the time, or waiting to pick up a linebacker who's trying to blitz up in the middle. I think he's going to have his hands full. I'm not really impressed on Garrett Bradbury, and I think he's going to have his hands full with his defensive line. It's going to be a huge problem. Then at right guard, you got Mike Onwenu. I don't know nothing about this dude. I'm not going to lie. I didn't have time to go over everybody. So, more than likely, he's going to be going against Adam Butler, Tyree Wilson, right? Tonka Hemingway, JJ Pegues, all these guys. So, I think our defensive line has the advantage. And then, they went and picked up from the New York Giants. Bradbury's only been there 1 year. I think they got him from Minnesota. Then you go to the right tackle side, and it's Moses Morgan, who they picked up from the Giants. I mean, you're going against Max Crosby, bro. You're going to have to double all day long, which leaves guys to roam free, linebackers to roam free, safeties to roam free to blitz. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a hell of a chess match. Dylan Gabriel? Wait, what? What's with Dylan Gabriel? Did I miss something? TCU smoke bill, right? Poor Bill Belichick. I mean, that's why he got fired from the Patriots, right? He was getting old. He was getting up there. That's kind of why Pete Carroll got released from the Seattle Seahawks. I hope we don't have that problem. I'm just saying. Chief Lover in the building. What's up, Junior Cairo? So, if you're looking at our offensive line, their offensive line against our defensive line, I think we have a huge advantage. For one, you have Max Crosby. They're going to have to double Max Crosby, right? You're going to have to use that tight end and Austin Hooper, former Las Vegas Raider. You're going to also have to use, my former Hog, my Razorback Hunter Henry, who is a damn good tight end. They're going to have to run a lot of 12 personnel. I don't know if if 12 personnel is in Josh McDaniels' repertoire. I didn't see us run a whole lot of it, when he was here, when he was in Vegas. Geomex was good. So, RT Art, appreciate you. What's good? What's good? Junior Cairo, what it do? So, I feel with that offensive line, you're going to have to leave your tight end to block an awful, awful lot. They're going to get destroyed, right? 27-17 Pats. Okay, okay. However, when you double Max Crosby, you're gonna leave guys like Jonah Lalu, Adam Butler, like I said, JJ Pegues, Thomas Booker, to get to the quarterback, Tyree Wilson. On the other side, Malcolm Kuntz. I think it's going to be a problem for this offensive line. A huge, huge problem. They're going to have to use their tight ends a lot. Speaking of tight end matchup, right? Like I just said, you have Hunter Henry, former Arkansas Razorback. He's a tight matchup for anybody, for any linebacker, for any safety. He's just a tough cover, right? He's a tough kid. He can get open. He's not the fastest. He's good at the point of high pointing the ball. He's got solid ass hands, and Hunter Henry's just Hunter Henry, bro. He's an Arkansas Razorback. And then Austin Hooper, that they got over there, they're gonna have to use an awful lot. Hopefully nothing happens to Drake May, because if it does, Joshua Dobbs is their backup, and the Raiders might have a fiesta of picks and turnovers. We all know, Josh Dobbs can be good and he can be very, very bad. So hopefully for the Patriots, all is well. But this defensive line is going to be hitting your quarterback an awful, awful lot this weekend. I guarantee you Sunday, Drake May is going to be running for his life. And it's damn good he's a mobile quarterback. A lot of people don't give him credit for his legs, for his quickness, for his elusiveness. He's going to have to use every single bit of it. Every single bit of it. So, when it comes to Hunter Henry, I like Hunter Henry, but I think Jamal Adams, Jeremy Chin, Kai Blue Kelly. Kai Blue Kelly is going to be a tough matchup. I think Jeremy Chin and Jamal Adams, if you put them on Hunter Henry, take away the security blanket for Drake May, because I know that's going to be a security blanket. Hunter Henry is very sure-handed. Austin Hooper also. Then you get to the running backs, man. And this is where it gets scary. You have Ramondre Stevenson, who averaged pretty good last year, right? For an offensive line that struggled, for an offensive line that was, beat up for the Patriots, had a bunch of different quarterbacks in and out. He ran the ball pretty well. And again, they had a pretty bad offensive line over there. So then behind him, you have Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson is going to be a nightmare. Catching the ball out of the backfield, running up the middle, kickoff returns, punt returns, wherever they put Travion Henderson, he's going to be a problem for us, man. He's going to be a huge, huge problem. And the Raiders having a problem stopping the run, it's going to be a long, long day if he gets going. So hopefully, our linebackers and, a Landon Roberts, Jermaine Pratt, Devin White, none of these guys stand a chance. I'm just saying. None of these guys stand a chance at all trying to guard Travion Henderson. And it has to be Jamal Adams. It has to be, it has to be Kai Blue Kelly. It has to be somebody, a safety or a corner trying to hang with this guy. He's way too fast. He's way too elusive. And in my opinion, he could be Rookie of the Year. I know Raider fans ain't going to want to hear it because we have Ashton Genty. But Travion Henderson with this Patriots team could very, very well end up being Rookie of the Year. All right, let's get into some of this chat before it gets too far along. Thoughts, who do you think will get the first touchdown? The first touchdown could be Travion Henderson if we kick off to him. I mean, fuck. We already seen what he could do. But I don't know, man. Predicting the first touchdowns, that's hard, right? That's hard to do. Very, very hard to do. It could go either way. You could have, a fumble on the kickoff. You could have him running back on the kickoff. You could have a turnover for an interception on the first play of the game. That's a hard call. But if I would have to bet, I'm going to say Brock Bowers. If we get the ball first, Brock Bowers. Why wouldn't you throw it to Brock Bowers? So that's my pick, Brock Bowers. TCU killing it. Damn. Super fan above. What? What do you mean? What else we got? I think either Brock Bowers or Ashton Genty will run the first touchdown. That's what I just said. Carroll never got released, really. He was a consultant for the Seahawks in 2024. Then chose to re-sign and go to Las Vegas in 2025. No, he said he took the year off. He took the complete year off. So he wasn't much of a consultant, right? He said it in many, many interviews. He took a year off. He had nothing to do with football. And however you want to look at it, they promoted Mike McDonald or whatever. He was let go. He was let go. Sean Lawrence, Chiefs? What? Get out of here. Hell no to the Chiefs. Right? What else we got? Last in the AFC West. The Chiefs? The Chiefs might be last in the AFC West, bro. Don't be shocked if Jamal Adams is used to blitz and defend the run. I know, but as a former safety, we need him in coverage. He's the best cover linebacker we have, in my opinion. Salute to Junior and Sean Swifty. We welcome all, right? Right? She only goes in where she can tag the person. What? Yes. I watched part of it, and a lot of people in the chat are talking about it. Jamal Adams will play linebacker safety hybrid. Role is to blitz and help stop the run. I know. I get it. The touchdown will be Zamir White on 3rd and goal. Talk that shit, GeoMex. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going with him. I'm copying his shit. Yeah, that's what we're going with. Zamir White on 3rd and goal. Let's go. First touchdown for the Las Vegas Raiders. That would be wild, bro. That would be wild. You did not say it first. Get out of here. All right, so if we're going to grade our offense against their defense, I think corners and receivers, it's kind of a wash, right? It's kind of a wash. They have, they have Stephon Diggs. You might give a slight edge to the Patriots, but we don't really know what we have in the defensive back room. We don't know what we have in our corners. We don't know how much they're going to be rotating, who's going to be covering who. If they rotate a lot, we're not going to have guys that are, tired, can't catch their breath. They're not going to keep throwing, just throwing over the top on us. So I say it's even. I'll give the edge. I'll give a little bit of an edge to the Patriots, receivers and defensive backs, just because I don't know what our defensive backs are. And I know what Stephon Diggs can bring to this team with a quarterback like Drake May and a running game behind him. So offensive line to defensive line, I think we have a huge, huge advantage of our defensive line over their offensive line. There's no way you could tell me that you're going to bring in 2 rookies on this offensive line and be able to go against veterans like Max Crosby, like Adam Butler, you know, like Thomas Booker. I don't see it. I don't see it. Um, and then you have the guys that we brought in. Also, right? Who else did we bring in? Darren Jackson. Darren Jackson's going to be nasty for this team. Watch, mark my words. That's going to be a steal for the Las Vegas Raiders. This young man is going to be a fan favorite if they let him get in the game. Watch. He's a playmaker. So, so it's tied 1-1, right? I think our defense has a big advantage over their offensive line. Tight end wise, it's going to be a hard cover. It's going to be a hard cover for Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper. I'm going to give the edge to their tight ends because I don't know, you know, who's playing in the slot, who's going to be covering their tight end. It's a question mark. So with that being a question mark, you know, Austin Hooper is a guy that can catch. He can create separation. I'm going to give the edge to their tight end room. Quarterback against our defensive backs and our secondary. I think Drake May has the advantage, man. I think Drake May has the advantage. Running back room. Running backs over against our linebackers. I think our linebackers have the advantage in the run game. In the passing game, the advantage goes to the Patriots because Travion Henderson is just special, bro. He's just special, and we don't have nothing for him unless we have somebody sneaky good that I don't know about. You know, I don't see it, man. I don't see it. So I'm gonna give the offense advantage to the Patriots, right? 4-1. Jesus. But where it counts the most, our defensive line is better than their offensive line. The rest, I'm giving the advantage to the Patriots. Prove me wrong, Raiders. Please prove me wrong. Defensive-wise, defensive end, Milton Williams from Philadelphia. Is he going to be the player he was with Philly when he had all them great players around him? Or, you know, is it going to take time? That is a huge question that we will have to wait until Sunday to answer, right? However, behind him, you have Jeremiah Parms Jr., nose tackle, which they actually have a nose tackle listed. So, which is weird. You don't really see that much. The hell is this dude's name? Kyririus Tonga. And then defensive tackle, man. Defensive tackle is Christian Barmore. Christian Barmore is going to be a problem, I believe, right? He's going to be a problem because we have Jordan Meredith, who's never played center before. You have a guard in Jackson Powers Johnson who is not happy playing guard right now, right? He wants to play center. Hopefully that issue gets resolved and it's not a huge problem, right? Turn this over here a little bit more. And then starting, this is funny, not really funny, but so that's crazy. They have one defensive end, a nose tackle, a defensive tackle, and then they have listed inside linebacker, right inside linebacker, and right outside linebacker. So I don't know what they're doing over there, right? I don't know if Caleb Von Chasen is going to be that defensive end, you know, that plays kind of like that hybrid guy where he's a hybrid linebacker. outside linebacker and edge rusher. But he's starting, right? He's starting, so that's something. Um, so their defensive line against our offensive line, man. Depending on what Parham does, because we don't know what Dylan Parham, right? He gained a little bit of weight. He's always been, a guy that can pull. So are we running gap zone, right? Are we running power? Who knows with Chip Kelly, right? We don't know what he's gonna run. He always says he's gonna adapt to what the team does best, and we didn't see a lot in preseason, so it's kind of hard to say. But looking at Calebon Chasen, Robert Spillane, Christian Ellis, who's a damn good linebacker. And then you got Harold Landry the third, who is more than likely probably gonna play that edge rusher. That's tough, right? That's tough. You got Colton Miller. You got Colton Miller. You got Jordan Meredith at center, who's never played. Then you got the bulldozer and the angry guy over there in JPJ playing the right side. You got Parham at the left side, and then DJ Glaze. How big of a step does DJ Glaze take? So I believe our offensive line can hold up against their pass rush, right? If we look at their pass rush last year, and I know it's a totally different team. They have Rabel in the building. Mike Vrabel's defense is going to be way different. They're going to be more physical, like I said yesterday, right? They're going to be one of those teams that constantly smack you in the mouth. They're going to be trying to force turnovers from hits. They're going to be trying to rip the ball out. And they're definitely going to blitz a lot. However, I think our offensive line is tight. I'm going to give the advantage to our offensive line. What else we got? Their linebackers against our tight ends. I like Robert Spillane, but there's no way in hell he's covering Brock Bowers. There's no way in hell he probably even covering Michael Mayer or Ian Thomas. Is it Ian Thomas or Quadre Ismail? I gotta look at that. I don't know which one we kept. Horrible. I give the advantage to our tight ends. Definitely give the advantage to our tight ends. Their safeties against our receivers, right? All right. Their safeties against our receivers. Their corners against our receivers. At corner, they have Carlton Davis III. On the other side, they have Christian Gonzalez. And I know a lot of people are saying Christian Gonzalez is one of the best corners, young corners out there. There's ways to beat him, right? From what I've seen on tape, and I watched a little bit of the Patriots on defense, he gets beat a lot, right? He gets beat an awful lot. Rosetown, what's good? Good to have you back in the building. There's ways you could beat him. He doesn't get his hips around a lot. He's very bad on slant routes. So if you got a quarterback that's a receiver that's crafty, an offensive coordinator that's crafty, it's going to be a tough cover for Christian Gonzalez. Whether it's, whether it's Jack Bess, whether it's Dante Porter, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a hard cover. All these guys are decent route runners. And I hear a lot of people still saying that Dante Thornton, don't have any routes, can't run routes. We'll see. Their safeties, they have Craig Woodson. that they drafted this year. So they have a safety, a rookie safety playing back there. That's a good way for Geno Smith, who's pretty accurate with the long ball, to um, take advantage of the young man back there, right? And very, very questionable because they have at nickel Marcus Jones. Now, we all know they released Drabel Peppers. Everybody on the Raider Nation wants us to go get Peppers. But I'm wondering, what do they have in these young guys that they drafted, that they seen, to let go a captain, to let go a guy that has 92% cover rating? I just, there's got to be something more. So I don't know what the Pepper Stories is, but man, I really, really wish the Raiders would just bring him in. He would definitely be that thumper in the middle, like I said, a guy that's going to make quarterbacks and wide receivers, have alligator arms when they come over the middle. And it's been a long time since we've had a guy, like that. So go get Peppers, bring this man in. But, the fact that they let him go because they have faith in Kyle Duggar, they have faith in Greg Woodson. But it shows a weakness for me, right? A rookie against, a veteran quarterback like Geno Smith, a veteran guy, in Jacoby Myers, right? I think we could take well advantage of that. And I'm going to give the advantage to our receivers. Woo, that car sounded clean. Damn. So, yeah, I give the advantage to our receivers. Special teams, I give the advantage to us on special teams. We have one of the best punters in all of football. We have a solid, reliable kicker. Last year wasn't so great. From 40, what was it? From 50 to 59. I believe he missed 5 kicks last year. So as long as we get it inside the 40, inside the 50, we're golden. We're golden, right? We're golden. So this is going to be a tough game, man. This is going to be a tough-ass game. I think their special teams, depending on if they put Travion Henderson back there. Right now they have special teams listed as their kick returner as Jamarcus Jones, our punt returner, and their kick returner is listed as Travion Henderson. They also, this is big. Now this is big because on special teams, their place kicker is a rookie, Andy Bergalis. Their long snapper, Julian Ashby, is also a rookie. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4 rookies on their special teams. Kicker, long snapper, kickoff. Whoa, they have 3 different kickers. Crazy. And then Travion Henderson running kick returns back. So that's going to be a matchup. That's going to be a tough matchup for us. This kid is dynamic with the ball in his hands. And if the Raiders, special teams, but we got guys like Dylan Labe who's been making plays, right? They let go of Amari Gaynor, who was, constantly making plays on the special teams. So we have some tough matchups, man. We have tough matchups. When it comes down to coaching, right? When it comes down to coaching, our coaches are 1-0 Vrabel, right? They've only played one time in Tennessee against the Seahawks, and the Patriots won that game, I do believe, 33-30 in a last-minute field goal. So, appreciate you. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be very, very tough. Pete Carroll is going to want revenge, right? He coached for the Patriots. He was let go by the Patriots because he didn't make the playoffs. He was 8-8 that year. I don't care what anybody says, when you rebuild a team like that was trash before you got there, and they let you go for stupid reasons like that, it's going to stick with Pete Carroll, right? And he wants to go and make a showing. I'm sure Patrick Graham wants to go and, prove that the Raiders were smart in keeping him, not keeping Josh McDaniels, moving on. So there's a lot of going on. There's a lot of good and bad blood. We have, what the hell? That is a big ass bug, bro. Get out of my house. Whew. What the hell is that? The fuck. Um, Players returning, right? They have Kayvon Chase on. They went and got Marcus Epps, who didn't make the roster. I'm very, very surprised. That's another thing. Maybe they're just trying to go with young guys that are faster, because you let a guy like Marcus Epps go, who is a solid veteran guy out there, and then you let Peppers go. So they must have something going on in this defensive back that they're very, very excited about, and we shall see. But you have Kayvon Chase on, who used to be a former Raider, who is starting. You have who else we got over there? Robert Spillane, also over there. You have Ben Brown, who is also a former Raider. You have Jacoby Myers going back to play, where it all started for him and the Patriots. So then the Pete Carroll Vrabel, thing going on, the Pete Carroll Patriots thing going on. So there's a lot of storylines. There's a lot of storylines in this game. It's week 1. Both teams want to make a statement, right? Both teams have new head coaches that were out of football last year, that didn't coach at all last year. So, to me, there's a lot riding on this game. And I know a lot of people are going to say, but it's only week 1. But man, week 1 is when you find out, right? Can guys play the position you put them at? Can they handle, can these young rookies handle being on the field in the spotlight, right? Against a team that struggled last year. Points wise, the Patriots are 2.5 point favorites, 3 point favorites, depending on what sporting books you look at. The Patriots were not favored one time last year. One time. The Raiders were favored once, I do believe. Maybe twice. I think it was only once. So I don't know, if that means anything, but I find it kind of interesting that the sport books, are going with Vrabel and the Patriots, with Josh McDaniels, leading that offense over there, coming back. I forgot about Josh McDaniels, Raiders ex-head coach. He's going to want to make a showing. He's going to want to make a statement. The good thing we have going for the Las Vegas Raiders is Patrick Graham went up against Josh McDaniels in practice, right? Every day for a year and a half, a year and however many games. So we have that advantage. He knows what Josh McDaniels is trying to do. He knows what his system's trying to do. We have a lot of defensive players like Max Crosby. Actually, we don't have a lot of defensive players. They're all gone. We only have 3 returning starters, or 4. 3. We only have 3 returning starters on our defense. So take that as what you will, but I think there's a slight advantage there, because Josh McDaniels does know the Raiders defense. He does know Patrick Graham, but this is not Patrick Graham's defense anymore. They are now switching from what we've all seen. Maybe they'll switch it up at the game time, we don't know, but they're switching to a 4-3 base defense. They're going to run a lot of cover 3, probably 70%, 60% cover 3. I don't know how much. A lot, probably over 50% cover 3 in my opinion. So it might be Patrick Graham's defense, but it's not the same. It's going to have a whole lot of Pete Carroll sprinkled into it. So it's a new twist, right? It's a new twist. You got guys like Brock Bowers. You got guys like Dante Thornton. You have Ashton Genty. You have Geno Smith in the building. They're not ready for. So there's going to be a lot of new sprinkles on both sides, right? Which bird? Ravens, Seahawks, Eagles, Cardinals, Falcons, right? Raiders are hot garbage juice. Go Birds. Okay. Probably an Arizona Cardinals fan. Jason Ruiz, what's good? I missed you, bro. You think we'll start off slow? I mean, it's very well possible. It's very well possible. So I'm gonna give you my game predictions. I'm gonna give you everything that I think is gonna happen, and I should probably wait till Thursday or Friday to do this. But you know how we do it here. We go all out, balls to the wall. Um, got your birds right here. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out my guy GeoMix. um, all right, so this is my predictions. This is what I think is gonna happen. I know Raider fans are gonna hate me, eat me up in the comments. That's fine. Do what you got to do. I believe Geno Smith has at least one turnover because Geno Smith is playing outdoors. If you look at Geno Smith's record overall, it's a good thing we play 9 games indoors, right? Because Geno's record outdoors is 41 touchdowns to 35. Yes, that's right. 41 touchdowns to 35 interceptions outdoors. He played a lot of games outdoors. Home games in Seattle. Geno Smith, indoors. Junior Cairo, don't be trying to take my shit and go bet on it, bro. Indoors. And if you want to bet, go check out the new sports app. Not really a new sports app. Underdog Fantasy Sports. Go check it out over there. Use my promo code Rebel Sports. Bet $5. Play $5. You get $50. $50 to run with. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. You actually get to, choose the players you want, whether they go higher or lower. Very fun game. So, if you want something more to do on Sunday than to just watch football, go over there and check it out. Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use my promo code Rebel Sports. Back to what I was saying. Geno Smith in the dome. Geno Smith in the dome is 37-5. I do believe. My numbers could be 1 or 2 off. Memory's not as great as it used to be. I do believe it's 30-something and 5. 30-something touchdowns to 5 interceptions. So Geno in the dome, Geno is unstoppable fire, which is a damn good thing. We played 9 games in a dome this year. Geno outside of a dome, no bueno. No bueno. It's absolutely horrible. He is a different quarterback completely. Outside, his quarterback rating is like a 83.6. Inside, it's 106.5. So, Geno Smith inside, bet your money on the Raiders. Geno Smith outside, don't bet your money. Don't. If you bet in the sports books, don't do it. Don't do it. Real Talk Raider Nation, what's good? Appreciate you, my guy, for popping in. If y'all don't already, go check out his channel. Like, subscribe, follow my guy, Real Talk Raider Nation. Always breaking down, film. Always doing good lives with his boys over there, Chris, and, everybody's favorite critic, Severe Raider. The phone live be hitting, huh? Don't be trying to steal my shit, bro. It's a little bit, and it's nice weather. Might as well be outside talking football in the autumn wind. But yeah, I guess it. I don't know. I don't know if it's blowing up for everybody else, but my views have been a little bit better. So I like running outside. So yeah, man, Geno Smith. I figure because he's outside, I figure has at least one turnover, whether it's an interception or a fumble. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we don't have any turnovers, but that's the way I see it going. I hope our defense creates a turnover, at least one, whether it be a fumble, whether it be an interception. I think, that's the keys to victory for anybody. Um, is you got to have takeaways. You got to have takeaways. So, my prediction is I feel like the Raiders win this game. Oh my God. 26-24. 26-24. I feel like we're going to be up by a touchdown. 23, right? 23-17, 23-16, whatever it is. They come down and score, but they leave too much time on the clock. The Raiders come down, kick a field goal to win the game, 26-24. That's my prediction. That's what I'm going with. 2 touchdowns for the Raiders and a whole bunch of field goals. What's that? 4 field goals, right? 14, 6. Yeah. So that's what I'm going with. I think only 2 touchdowns. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they have, 8 touchdowns. But I feel like this defense is going to give us problems. I feel like we have a lot of problems still with Geno, the connection with our receivers. The physicality of this team, they haven't been tackling very well. We don't know if they can cover. You have a quarterback that can throw 80 yards down the field. It's going to be a problem, man. It's going to be a problem. I did the phone live 2 weeks ago. I got 1.2K on the laptop, only hit 100. Damn. I think since they changed their rules to whatever, they limit your money if you go on the phone. I think since they changed that, it's been blowing up. But yeah, that's a big difference, man. 100 views on the laptop. I just haven't been on my laptop because I was on, I was doing my thing last weekend. And I haven't even set up my phone or my computer, my microphone, my green screen. None of that shit's set up. I've been dying with back pains. Had a migraine for the last 6 days straight. Goes away, comes back. So I decided to jump on the phone. But hopefully I get 1.2K. I could use it. Candy tried to tell you to go live on your phone a while ago at Raiders Unleashed. She did. But, she got Tiggle Bitties and I just got me. Raider fan for life. It's the algorithm different. It does. Candy was telling you in one of her lives to go. I know. I feel like a TikToker on the phone. Yeah, it doesn't feel the same, bro. When you're sitting here talking to a phone, it's a lot different, right? At least when I got the computer, I got a background. I don't have this bright ass light and a shadow in my face on my eyeballs, which is fucking absolutely annoying. But then when I do that, I can't see. So yeah, man, it has its disadvantages, right? I'm sitting in this damn chair that is uncomfortable as hell. But yeah, it feels way different, right? It feels way different when you have a microphone, your computer with shit you can pull up, shit you can talk about, shit you can show on the screen. Makes a big difference. It's a lot harder trying to stare at this little tiny ass camera that you can't even see. We got to do a live, get that Raider Nation out there, get those views, big dog, right? It's just because they're Tiggle Bitties. What is it then? If it's not the Tiggle Bitties, what is it? But yeah, man, that's my prediction. I think the Raiders win 26-24 in a tight one. I don't think there's going to be as much scoring as everybody thinks. I think Brock Bowers has a touchdown. I think Ashton Genty has a touchdown. I think those are the only 2 touchdowns. I think we get down to the red zone 4 times and we kick field goals. I think their defense is going to tighten up, once you get inside the red zone. Mike Vrabel's defenses, teams that he's coached have always been solid when you get inside that 20-yard mark, 10-yard mark. They're relentless. So that's what I see happening. On the other side, I see Drake May just having a game, bro. I see him having a game. 3 touchdowns. Um, I'm gonna say all him because I just don't trust these defensive backs. I think uh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I think possibly our red zone defense could be better than it has been in the past. Right? Pete Carroll ran teams usually are bend don't break kind of defense, and we seen in the preseason, right? Even in even with the second team and the third team defense, once they got down inside the 20, they tightened up a lot, right? They tightened up a lot. You run out of options. We can play a lot more press. Even if we are playing zone, the zones are a lot tighter, right? You're not covering 30 yards of field. You're only covering 25 to 30 or less. So I think Drake May has a hell of a day. I don't believe they run all over us. I don't feel like Travion Henderson, being a rookie, I don't think he gets too many touches. I think our run defense is gonna hopefully be relentless and be nasty. And that's what I'm going with, man. That's what I'm going. GeoMX mentioned something about you going live together in her live earlier. What happened? How you feeling about the secondary? Like I said, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Eric Stokes has only played 17 games. He's been hurt every other year. In those 17 games last year, he got benched. Was it the system? Was it Eric Stokes? I don't know. Eric Stokes has been our #1 corner all preseason. They haven't given anybody else a chance. Like, he's ran with the ones the whole time. Nobody else can say that on the other side. Every other corner we've had has played with the ones, the twos, and the threes. Except for Eric Stokes. So, do they have too much faith in Eric Stokes? I hope not. I hope not. I hope he's that dude. But from what I've seen in preseason, I'm very skeptical about Eric Stokes. I hope he can be the guy we need him to be, a shutdown corner. Be that lockdown, strap down guy. But it's a question mark. And then behind him you have DeCamarion Richardson, which I have a lot of faith in DeCamarion Richardson. His speed, his size, his length. He's got long arms. He's a guy that hopefully comes around and takes a huge leap for us. If he does, then I feel a lot better. I feel like on the other side, Kai Blue Kelly. Everybody says we got rid of Jacorian Bennett because of his size. Jacorian Bennett's like 5'10", 5'11". Kai Blue Kelly's 6 foot. So, I don't know what's going on over there. Darian Porter, he's a little bit light. Some of these running backs, look like they ran them over in the preseason. So we have a lot of question marks, man. We have a lot of question marks. But they keep bringing in corners. They keep bringing in Candy Unlocked. What's good? They keep bringing in safeties. And I think there's a reason, right? There's a reason. They're trying to find the right mix. And I think we're running out of time. So I feel like our defensive backs are going to be good. And, I said it and I'm going to stand on it. I think by week 5, this defense is a defense people don't want to play. I think our defensive line comes together. I think our linebackers know their role, know their spot. And I think our corners start to fall in line and realize that they don't have to do it all. That our defensive front 7 is going to be nasty. They're going to do their job up front. Just worry about your man. Worry about your 111, And I know in a zone it's hard to do that because, you have guys that can flash across your face, and then you let them go thinking there's a linebacker off there, and then once you take your eyes off them, they're cutting back the other way behind you. And then all you can do is look at the quarterback and read your quarterback's eyes and hope to God you can backpedal, or get to make the play, because in the zone, shit like that happens all the time. There's easy ways to beat the zone, right? You flash guys in front of guys. You don't run straight routes, right? You're not running slants. You're not running out routes. You're running in and outs or zigzags or Um, so there's a lot of questions, man. There's a lot of questions I have about Pete Carroll's defense. There's a lot of questions I have about trading Ja'Cory Bennett. But he's done this way longer than I have, and all I can do is trust the process, trust my coach, and that's what I'm gonna do. But if you want to know how I feel about it, I think that's my biggest question. That's my biggest question. But I feel once they get some game time experience, once they get out there together and learn to trust in each other, once Pete Carroll is what he's trying to teach, starts to show out there on the grass, I think their confidence gets better. And it's happened with every Pete Carroll team, right? Every Pete Carroll team he's came in and coached, the defensive backs, the defensive back room wasn't great. It was okay, right? When he left, they were great, right? They were great. So that's his MO. That's what he does. That's his position. He knows how to get the best out of these guys. He's a very, very good judge of talent when it comes to that. And, I just hope at 74 that he's still the same, good judge of talent that he's been his whole life. So if that is the case, then our defensive backs are going to be fine. But it's going to take time. They're going to have to get, some games under their belt. And unfortunately for them, we have the Patriots, we have the Chargers, we have the Commanders, we have the Bears. There's no time to rest, right? All these teams got monster quarterbacks that can throw the ball 80 yards. They all have dynamic receivers. They all have, solid offensive coordinators. So we're going to be tested, man. We're going to be tested a lot. We're going to be tested. And when you know somebody's weakness, you test that shit. You test it all you can. But I feel like Pete Carroll has put, these guys in enough tough places. Like he said, he's going to put you in a place where you're uncomfortable and, see what he gets out of you. And I think he did that to Ja'Cory Bennett, and he didn't like what he got, so he traded him. But if he believes in these guys, man, I believe in them. I think, Kai Blue Kelly has a lot of upside. He's a Vegas boy, so I know he's tough. And then you have Darian Porter, man, with his speed and his size. It's going to take a while to click. But like I said, by week 5, I think this defense is rolling like a freight train. And teams are going to be afraid to play us, right? Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, it's going to be nasty. Jonah Lalu, Adam Butler. By week 5, I think J.J. Pegues, Tonka Hemingway, these guys start to come along, right? I think it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. But we're not going to come out hot. I think the first couple games are going to be a struggle. They're going to be, close, tight games that could go either way. But I think after week 5, man, this team is going to be special. GeoMex mentioned something about you going in a live together earlier. Where? Yeah, man, anytime you want to pull up, GeoMex. Shit, you already know, bro. You already know. My email, all that shit. Oh, it's not at the bottom. I'm not on the other thing, but my email's in everything, bro. It's Raiders Rebel pretty much on anything. IG, Raiders Rebel _ on X. Follow me there. DM me. I accept all messages. You can call the Raider hotline, the mental health hotline. You can call the Raider hotline. There's a million ways to get a hold of me. So anytime you're ready, bro. Anytime you're ready to pull up, just let me know. I will schedule it. I hate just pulling people up on the fly because it messes up everything I'm trying to talk about. I forget. And if I don't have questions, or shit to talk about, then it's kind of rough. But anytime, GeoMex, you already know. At Raiders fan, yes. I hope to try to get on one day and just talk some football. But on this channel, yeah, man, yeah. Shit, like I said, DM me tonight, bro. DM me right now. Instagram is Raiders Rebel, right? I do believe it's Raiders Rebel. Facebook, it's Raiders Unleashed. Our Dylan Rogers. Anytime, bro. Hit me up. We'll set it up. Anytime. Darian Porter can't tackle. He's a rookie, man. He's a rookie. Sorry I'm late, Rebel. I've been designing a blanket and a whole other custom designs. Y'all go check out the Candy Unlocked. Go check out her website. She got some fly-ass Raider merch I've been helping her, design and work on, kind of collabing together. So go check it out if you want some fly-ass Raider drip before the season starts. If you're a member of the channel, you get 15% off. So if you're a paid member to the channel, 15% off all Raiders inspired merch. Go check it out. Go check it out. If you want to post a link in here, that's fine. You can do that as well. But you don't have to apologize for being late. Raiders. It's like 11 o'clock. I shouldn't be yelling that too loud. Y'all want to see the moon? Can y'all see the moon? It's not as big on here. What else we got? Let's get this W. Wait, where'd that go? Let's get this W versus the veteran. I hope so, man. GeoMex going live with me and you together. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. If GeoMex wants to pull up, he's more than welcome. But you're not welcome. You're not welcome. Yeah, bro, email me. Email me. It should be on anything. If you don't know what it is, it's RaidersRebel75@gmail. Hit me up anytime. My friends were gaslighting me at school that we treat Max Crosby. I was so upset. What? What do you mean? I think you're missing some words in that sentence, my guy, but don't let nobody gaslight you, bro. What you feel in here is all you got to worry about. Fuck what everybody else says, man. Shut up, Rebel. Stop being stupid. He'd rather come on my channel than yours. Let's be real. He's more than welcome to come on whatever channel he wants to. Thought we traded Max. My apologies. I'm dyslexic. No. We are not trading Max. Not yet. Good day, Rebel from Australia. Wizard of Oz, what's good? Appreciate you. Appreciate you pulling up from Australia. That's crazy, bro. That puts a smile on my face. But yeah, man, if you want to go on with her also, if you want to pull up with both of us, you know, I'm down for whatever, man. I'm down for whatever. He said he wanted to go on live with both of us. That's cool. That's cool. You can come on. What's the weather like in Australia? What time is it there? Y'all like, what, 16 hours ahead of us? 6 hours? Something crazy? I don't even know. But shout out Raiders in Australia. That's sick, bro. I don't know what part of Australia you are, but there's a Raider content creator that does Avocasi Raider. Y'all go check out his content. He lives out there in Australia, a big Raiders fan. It's winter in Australia, I believe. It's about to be winter here. Fucking bug. About to fight, bro. Oh, bitch. What the fuck? Getting attacked out here. Dixon Cider, what's going on? One of the best names in all of YouTube. 3 p.m. start of spring. Damn. You're starting spring? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Shout out. Appreciate you pulling up. This 3 p.m. in Australia. That's nice. 14 hours? So you're 14 hours ahead? Yeah. I can do math. They have winter, then they have summer. Crazy. What's been going on, my guy Dixon Cider? How you been? Glad you're back here. Tuesday, I'm living in the future, right? You are living in the future. What stock market shit's going on? Can you tell me that? All right, man, so let's get into this, and then I'm going to get the hell off of here. Raiders roster. Raiders roster, like I said, Dante Thornton. We have Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers, against their defensive backs, I think we're ahead, right? You throw in Brock Bowers, you throw in Michael Mayer. I don't think their defensive backs can stop us. I think Christian Gonzalez is a damn good corner. And the hell's his face on the other side? I can't remember. About 18 hours ahead. You're from South Africa? Oh, South Australia? I thought you said Africa. I can't read with the shit. Excited for the Raiders football. What's your prediction, man? What's your prediction on the game? Everybody in here, what's your predictions on the game? Let me know. What's your score? Mine, like I said, 26-24. Raiders are down 23-24. They put too much time on the clock. They come down and score. We come down in the game with a field goal. 26-24, Raiders win. Due to different sides of the equator, Australia's weather is opposite. All I know is football, bro. I don't know geology. I don't know geology. I don't know none of that shit. I did know there was different times, though. We are beating the Pats 31-17. Chip Kelly and Genty gonna cook. Okay. Candy says 21-14. No field goals in the game? Woohoo! Geomex says Raiders. That's all we need to know. We talked about it, our offensive line, right? We talked about our roster against their roster. Max Crosby is just going to be a problem. I don't know if Jonah Lalu is starting or if Booker Thomas, if Booker Thomas is going to be the starter. That is a huge, huge question. I thought it was going to be Jonah Lalu. If you look on the Raiders thing, it says Jonah Lalu. But they have him second on here, so I don't know. But our defense is going to be a problem. And some of y'all did not know this, but they have Jeremy Chin listed as the nickelback. They have Kai Blue Kelly as right corner. They have Eric Stokes as left corner. They have Isaiah Palomau at free safety. And they have Chris Smith II as starting strong safety. I don't know if that's the way the roster is going to go, but we shall see. I don't think we do any field goals. The last few games I watched, they tend to skip them. I get what you're saying. I don't think that's really what happened, but shout out. But, however, Leaky Fotu, man. Leaky Fotu is back. Tyree Wilson not being a starter, right? Being on that second team. I think he's going to be a problem this year. I think Tyree Wilson is going to be a big, big problem. Do I like Jacoby Myers? I like Jacoby Myers. Do I like Jacoby Myers at $25 million? No. Do I like him at $20 million? No. I don't. And I really don't see him being on this team. I don't see him signing him to a long contract. I think when he asked for a trade, I don't think Spytek and Pete Carroll are the guys you want to fuck with. Excuse my language, but I don't think they're guys you want to play with, right? When you ask for a trade, I think that shows one thing: you're worried about the money and not the team. And a Pete Carroll coach team, you need to worry about the team first. You need to worry about your teammates, and if they can't come to an agreement, which they haven't been able to yet, I just don't see Jacoby Myers being out there. I don't even know, how much he plays in game one. He might stay New England. He might come out, have a hell of a game, and the Patriots might say, all right, let's bring Jacoby back home, right? Where he started all this shit. Could happen, man. Could happen. So I like Jacoby Myers. I think he's a dog. Do I think he's worth, like I said, 25 million? I don't know, man. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a guy that's had 1,000-yard season. It just doesn't make sense. I'm going to say they will get a touchdown, but I doubt they will do the field goals. I believe Zamir, Tyree will get more snaps as the year progresses. Okay, okay. Um, I'll sub and find out the Rebel story, bro. You're an interesting dude. Shout out LV-R. Nice, bro. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Patriots would have to trade for Jacoby. Yeah, I know they'd have to trade for Jacoby. I don't know what they got or what they're willing to trade, but it just makes sense, right? You know, Dick Daniels came over to the Raiders. He went and got Jacoby Myers. He's back at the Patriots. Maybe he wants Jacoby Myers, right? Jacoby Myers come off of one of his best career years, right? So um, the fact that the Patriots haven't called, the fact that nobody's called for Jacoby Myers except for one team, and that one team wanted the Raiders to pay half his salary next season, doesn't look good for Jacoby, right? There's not a lot of takers out there. So um, I don't see him going anywhere this year. I don't see him going any this year. After that, that remains to be seen. Remains to be seen. But he has, what, 2 years left on his contract? I believe if they do work a deal, it'll probably be just to pay him guaranteed money for the next 2 years and then see what happens with that. That's my opinion. My guy Geomex says Zamir and Tyree get more snaps as the year progresses. I would love to see that. I would love to see Tyree Wilson be that guy where they have to, make a decision. Do they want him out there as a starter playing more snaps, or do they want him, on that as the rotational guy that can play the 2 technique, that can play the 3 technique, right? That can play defensive end, both sides, 5 or 6 technique. So that is the question. But I think Tyree's up for it, man. I think Tyree Wilson is starting to pick it up. It's starting to slow down, like he said. And, a lot of people, first round pick or not, a lot of players take at least 2 or 3 years before they get going. There's only a certain very small handful of players that come out hot their rookie year, right? And those are those ones, right? Usually, some of them, their sophomore year, it's not the same. So, but usually when guys come out hot, it's because, like I said, they were those ones. And most guys take, 2 or 3 years to put it together. Now, when you're hurt your rookie season and you're forced to play, you have, in my side, for me, that year don't mean shit, right? So last year was his rookie year. He's going into year 2, and if he shows any progress over what he did last year, I think it's a win. I mean it's not pick number 7 overall win, but it's a win. As far as Zamir White goes, Geomex knows more than anybody. He's here every single live. I've been on that Zamir train. When everybody wrote Zamir off, I said, don't sleep on Zamir White. You can go back and look at almost every content creator, every roster shit out there. Not a lot of people has Zamir White on their roster. I told y'all, Zamir White is gonna make a difference. He's gonna be a different player under Chip Kelly. It's the scheme fits him. We seen what he did under Bo Hardigree. The scheme fit him. So, I'm not smoking anything. What do you mean? Smoking is bad for you. Don't do it. I'm not smoking anything. 12-5. Geomex says 12-5. Woo! 5-12. I say we go 12-5 as well. Man, there's a lot of 12-5s in here. And I told y'all what I believe has to happen for us to go 12-5, right? It's very simple. Geno has to throw for over 4,000 yards. He has to have double the touchdowns to interception ratio. So if he has 15 interceptions, he has to have at least 30 touchdowns. 21 is not going to cut it. I don't see that being a problem. Ashton Genty has to rush for over 1,200 yards. Brock Bowers has to go for over 1,010 touchdowns. The defense has to be in the top 15 to 20. If those things happen, 12-5 don't look so bad. Or it doesn't look so hard. But those are a lot of things that have to happen. You have to have Max Crosby have one of his best years ever. Malcolm Kuntz has to be Malcolm Kuntz. A lot of things have to go the Raiders' way. But it's not unlikely, man. It's not unlikely. We've seen Pete Carroll take over teams that were 4-12, 4-13. I think 4-12 back then. Right? And win 10 games the next year. So it can happen. It can happen. And if you go back and look at the talent on those teams that he took over, right? He wasn't taking over a team. He wasn't taking over a team that had a Geno Smith, who he's coached, you know, in his best years. All of Geno's best years were with Pete Carroll. Now, he has started to slip since Pete Carroll, you know, hasn't been there. And we'll see, you know. Did I miss a super chat? Shout out for the $2 super chat I missed somewhere. Let me go back to that because I hate to miss people's hard-earned money. I don't know where it is. Oh, I did. There we go. Dabs. No dabs tonight. No dabs tonight. Bueno, what it do? What it do? Zamir is the beast. And needs one more chance. So does Tyree. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I'm one of those dudes that never gave up on Tyree Wilson. I've never gave up on Zamir White. I said Zamir White was going to make this roster. And I didn't think he'd be in the graces like he is with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll really, really, really likes Zamir White. When you see him talk about Zamir White, you know, his eyes light up. So, Patriots were 4-13 last year. We upgraded way more than McDummy and company. I mean, they did bring in Stefan Diggs. They did bring in 2 offensive linemen who are starting. We brought in, you know, we drafted 2 offensive linemen in the 3rd round who are backups. Good thing they made the roster, right? So I think it's pretty even, right? They went and got Robert Spillane to, you know, to pair over there with Ellis. That's going to be a nasty duo. It's going to be a nasty duo. If Caleb Chasen is half as good as he was, you know, for the Raiders over there, that's going to be a big pickup for him. So I feel we're pretty even, right? We're pretty even. Why does Piano Man keep saying shit about strip poker? Dude's a moron. What the fuck is he talking about? I don't know. Dude, I have no clue what the hell he keeps saying. Shit is annoying. Can't stand that dude. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. If he's in the chat, I don't see him. So, but I do believe Candy said she was going to do some kind of strip poker on her Discord. I don't know. So, hit up Candy Angel or Candy Unlocked. He was talking about the strip poker. I'm like, this. Oh, here we go. For member lives, he started saying stupid shit ever since. Our O-line had a year together to work together. That's a huge advantage. Kinda. We did move guys around, right? We put Jordan Meredith at center. We moved JPJ to guard. So it's mostly the same offensive line. You're right. It is the offensive line. But they got to figure out, you know, how to play with each other. And I think, I feel like Pete Carroll has done, you know, and Brendan Carroll has done a damn good job with the Raiders offensive line of, you know, pretty much having a competition having the backups, play certain spots. So it's not like, Caleb Rogers hasn't got any snaps with the ones. It's not like, Charles Grant, who I go back and watch my draft breakdown. I was jumping around like a clown when we drafted. I think Charles Grant is going to be a huge, huge pickup for us. So, um, I don't know, man. I don't know. They let go. They let go Marcus Epps. They let go Jabril Peppers. Like, letting two of those guys go tells me something. The Patriots have something cooking over there, and they believe in that team. So, um, I would like to say we did a better job, but we replaced Robert Spillane with 3 linebackers. We brought in Jeremy Chin. We brought in Eric Stokes, right? And other than that, what else? We have Darian Porter. We don't have any rookies starting like they do. They have all kinds of rookies starting over there. And I thought we had one of the best drafts. So, it's going to be close, man. It's going to be close. He's just mad because he's too broke to play. You're picking up pizza, making me hungry. But yeah, man, our O-line has an advantage. But on the other hand, Brendan Carroll, right? Brendan Carroll is a question. We don't know much about him. He's been an offensive line coach. He's been demoted, right? He's been an offensive line coach again. He's been demoted. So then he went to college. He was the offensive line coach, the running back coach. We have a lot of questions in our offensive line coach. I know we have Joe Philbon in there helping him out, who is a damn good offensive line coach. But there's still a lot of questions on that offensive line. Is the offensive line scheme going to be a fit for Ashton Genty? Is it going to be a fit for Raheem Mostert, right? Are they going to be able to keep Geno protected? Because we constantly hear all the talk about, Geno being top 10, top 5. But Pete Carroll said it in his last press conference. If you give Geno time, he's going to cook you, right? So Pete Carroll even knows. Geno under pressure is not a good Geno. So we need this offensive line to be solid, bro. They got to be in the top somewhere in that 12 to 17 range, 12 to 16 range. And I think if we're somewhere in there, I think that's way good enough to have a running game, to give Geno time to hit all these receivers, because there's a lot. Ow, what the hell just bit me? Getting murdered out here. Good Lord. What else we got? We signed talent on the cheap. Patriots went deep into their pocketbooks for talent. That's a damn good point, Bueno. They spent a lot of money. They overpaid a lot of players. They overpaid, in my opinion, they overpaid Robert Spillane. A lot of money. And we'll see what Robert Spillane does, right? Is he a fit over there in that defense? Because, the Patriots let him go. He came to the Raiders. He had a career year. Is he going to be that same player with the Patriots? For our sake, at least in week 1, I hope not. After that, I don't care what he does. I hope he, has a great career. Once a Raider, always a Raider. But they did. They spent ridiculous. And if you look at teams in the past that overspend in free agency, and I don't want to say overspend because they still have a lot of money. They're still I think, number 1 or number 2 in cap space. So they spent a lot of money, but not always it works out, right? Some of these guys aren't a fit. Like, they did go get Marcus Epps, let him go, right? They did let Jabril Peppers go. So they have big questions on their offensive line. Their offensive line has a lot of questions. Starting 2 rookies right next to each other at left tackle. Right, left tackle? Left tackle and left guard could be a problem for them. Could be a big problem, especially against Max Crosby and his defensive line. But I agree. They did spend a lot of money, and hopefully, it works out for them after week 1. After that, I don't give a shit. But they are in the AFC, so they can't have too good of a year. We got to sneak into that wild card. too many rookies starting tells me that the team is in a rebuild stage. Facts, facts. We got guys who have something to prove. That's another another fact. Everybody, everybody in this locker room has something to prove, right? Devin White has been wrote off, right? Wrote off. Does he write back? I don't know. He's not Geno Smith. He might not write back. He might write back. Who knows? You have Devin White. You have Jermaine Pratt, who was traded, right? He was their captain last year. He was the leader of that defense. They let him go. Not traded. They let him go. Raiders pick him up. You have a Landon Roberts, right? Another guy. They let go, who was solid over there for the Patriots. He did his job. Anytime he was called upon, he did his job. So, he's also got to look at Robert Spillane's career and say, Robert Spillane left the Patriots and came over and had a tremendously great 2 years with the Las Vegas Raiders. And, Landon Roberts got to look at that and think, damn, I could do the same thing in a Patrick Graham system, right? So he's got a chip on his shoulder. Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes is a guy who has been injured his whole entire career. A former first-round pick that, when you're a former first-round pick and you can't stay on the grass, you definitely have something to prove. And then when you're healthy all year, finally, for the first time in your career, and then they decide to bench you because you're not living up to it, and then cut you the following year, Eric Stokes has something to prove, right? Lonnie Johnson that got hurt had something to prove. Everybody we brought in, Geno Smith, believe it or not, has something to prove, right? There's a lot of people say he's top 10 quarterback. Some people want to say he's top 5. Fucking believe what you want to. But Geno's got a lot to prove. He has a chip on his shoulder. Ashton Genty might have the biggest chip in the whole entire planet, right? This guy was drafted 6th overall for a team that had no offensive line, that had quarterback struggles, that had no running game last year, that was worse than the NFL in rushing, that was, offensive line struggled, bottom of the NFL in receiving, bottom of the NFL in quarterback, and you draft a running back number 6. Some people would say that's the stupidest move on the planet, right? You don't draft a running back unless that's the position you need in the first round. And the Raiders, was a total Pete Carroll move. He knows to run to win football games. You got to run the ball. You got to take time off the clock. You got to keep the ball out of the other team's hands. And, if you do that, you have a better chance of winning. So I believe Ashton Genty has the most pressure out of anybody. You're drafted 6th overall, the FCS team, Boise State, right? A team that struggled dramatically without him. I believe he has the most pressure out of anything. He's, talked about being the savior, talked about being rookie of the year. Some people think he's fucking Barry Sanders, LaDainian Tomlinson, Eddie George, fucking all wrapped up in one. Walter Payton, Marcus Allen, he's all of these dudes. Emmitt Smith, like there's a lot of pressure on our young running back, and I feel like he has the shoulders to carry it and to bear the weight, but there's a lot to prove on this team, man. There's a lot. Jeremy Chin, right? Jeremy Chin has something to prove. He was one of the best players on the defense for the Washington Redskins. They ended up letting him go, not paying him his money. So, yeah, Pete Carroll's right. Bueno's right. We have a lot of guys with something to prove. Jordan Meredith has, probably the, second or third most pressure, I think, of all this team. A guy that was signed, released, and signed and released at least 5 or 6 times last year and the year before. And, finally gets the starting job because of injuries and never looks back, right? He plays guard, he plays left guard, he plays right guard, and now they move him to center, where he played a little bit in college, but he's never played in the pros. There's a chip on his shoulder too. A lot of people in Raider Nation are pissed that JPJ is not the starting center. Me, I'm not one of them. I could give a fuck less. As long as we win, I don't care if he plays running back or fullback, our defensive tackle. I don't care where you put JPJ, right? As long as we win, that's all that cares. That's all that matters to me. But there's a lot of people that are very, very upset that Jordan Meredith is the starting center. So he has a lot to prove that, um, that Pete Carroll made the right decision of moving JPJ over and letting him compete for the right guard spot with Alex Kappa, who apparently he's beat out. So, and then speaking of JPJ, he's got a lot to prove also. He's got a chip on his shoulder, right? He's got to prove that he can play the right guard position when everybody thinks he should be center. He's got to show that, man, I can play this position and, possibly still be the starting center of the future for the Raiders down the line. Who knows? So yeah, lots of chips on lots of shoulders, man, and I love to see it. Deuce Rookie of the Year, top 5 offense. Jack Yates. I mean, preach that truth talk. Let's speak it into existence. Speak it into existence. Tom Brady is overrated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He got a ring for 6 fingers, bro. I don't know. But I've said the same thing, man. I've said the same thing. You could talk all you want about quarterbacks, how great they are, how great they aren't, how they're flops, how they're busts. It's all about a system fit. The NFL is all about system fit. Whether you're a 4th round pick, whether you're a like AOC, whether you're a 7th round irrelevant pick like Purdy, like Brock Purdy, it doesn't matter. As long as you go to a team that believes in you, that has faith in you, that is willing to commit to build a team around you and give you the weapons you need to do the things that you do well, which Belichick did, which Dick Daniels did for Tom Brady, right? He had the same head coach. He had the same offensive coordinator his whole entire career, except for when he went to Tampa Bay, but, most of his career. So, and then you go to Tampa Bay and they do the same thing, right? They give Tom Brady everything he wants. They got the offensive linemen he wanted, right? They brought in guys on defense that he wanted. So, I don't know about overrated. You don't be that guy and win those Super Bowls not being good at your craft. He's a very, very intelligent man, and the rings speak for himself. But yeah, I think, in the right situation, a lot of these quarterbacks are more are more athletic, have a stronger arm. I wouldn't say more talented than Tom Brady because, playing quarterback is 99% mental. If you're not a smart quarterback, you're not going to succeed in the NFL. You have to be able to read defenses. You have to be able to read pre-snap. You have to know, when safeties are moving, when linebackers are moving, whether they're blitzing, whether they're dropping back in coverage. You have to know all the sneaky defenses that schemes that guys are going to try to run. So quarterback is a tough position. And you can see by all the quarterbacks drafted in the first round, if you're not intelligent, if you're not in the playbook 100% constantly, no matter how athletic you are, no matter how fast or strong or big you are, it doesn't matter at the quarterback position. You got to have the brains to play the position. I got everything set up for when you do. When I do what? Brady is hugely overrated, I think. I say 7 max, most line 5 and 12. Being a 6-time Super Bowl champ is overrated. I mean, I don't know. Could Drew Bledsoe continue, if he didn't get hurt and Tom Brady took over? Tom Brady might not have ever played football, right? It could have happened, right? So everything happens for a reason, man. And, Drew Bledsoe got injured. Tom Brady came in. The Tuck rule happened, and Tom Brady's career fucking exploded. Pete Carroll, Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, AFC West is going to be competitive. Definitely. As a Lions fan, but following Genty this year, I have y'all not. Have us not what? Oh, making the playoffs, but y'all will have a good year? Okay. Shout out to the Lions fan in the building. Y'all will beat the Pats? Okay, I like that. You're right, 7. Yeah, I thought I was 7, but I still think he's overrated. 7 and 10. 22-year career is overrated. Raiders, purple in the building. What it do, my guy? What it do? Unleash gifted 1 membership. Oh, what? Oh, Raider fan gifted 1 membership. 2. Who's the lucky winner? Big El Bosco. What's up, Big Little Bosco? Welcome to the Raider Nation family. Appreciate you becoming or being gifted a part of the Rebel Militia. So, you know. All right, man. So, once again, all these people in the building, it's gonna be a tough game, man. It's gonna be a tough game. I feel like they rushed for over 100 yards. Travion Henderson, I think has a damn good game. I think the run game is going to be solid. uh, let's see, what do they have on here? What do I have on here? Some quick notes, and then I'm gonna get the hell out of here. If I could find the notes. All right, go back. Jeez. Shout out to the 21 people in the building. Appreciate y'all. It looks like he can't spell. Who can't spell? I'm not spelling. What the fuck you mean? I'm not spelling anything, bro. I'm reading. All right, so we have. All right, so some quick stats. Patriots last year. Total first downs. They had 301. Their opponents had 348. If you can do the math, that's a difference of 47. Rushing first downs. They had 101. Their opponents had 127. Passing first downs. They had 167. Their opponents had 189. First downs by penalty. They had 33. Their opponents had 32. Third down conversions. They were 75 out of 215. Golly. Their opponents last year was 93 out of 215. Almost a 20-point difference. 18 to be exact, right? Fourth down conversions. 14 for 24. Their opponents were 11 for 21. Solid on defense on fourth down. Total offensive yards, they had 4,964. Their opponents had 5,829. Almost 1,000 yards difference they gave up. The Patriots offense ran 1,060 plays. Their opponents ran 1,103 plays. 53 plays more per game. That's a recipe for 4-13. It's a recipe for 4-13. That's all going to change this year under Dick Daniels. But as we've seen, being Raider fans, right? It took our offense, even with Devontae Adams and a smart-ass quarterback like Derek Carr. It took them 2 years, a year and a half, to grasp that offense, and it still got Derek Carr fired. So it's not an easy offense to pick up for Josh McDaniels. But rumors are that he dumbed it down a lot, and we'll see how good it is dumbed down. Peace out, GeoMex. I appreciate you rocking with your guy as always. Much love. Who's Samari? Why is he timed out? You fucking flapping your gums, bro? Being here flapping your gums. That dude was a troll. Fuck trolls. Excuse my language. Alright, so where was I at? Total passing yards. Passing plays. They had 446. Opponents had 507. Average yards per play, 4.4. Opponents 4.4. Total passing yards. Completions, 342. Attempts, 529. Their opponents had 346 with 553 attempts. Interceptions, 11. Opponents had 7. Average passing yards, 6.3. Their opponents averaged 7 yards per attempt passing. Sacks, they were sacked 52 times. This offensive line, I don't care who your coach is not going to be an overnight shift. When you give up 52 sacks, you bring in a rookie at left guard and a rookie at left tackle. Our defense is going to eat. Our defense is going to eat. Their opponents gave up 28 sacks. They only had 28 sacks from their defense last year. I think our offensive line has a chance, right? I really think our offensive line has a chance. Then we have field goals. They kicked 26 out of 33, so their field goal kicker missed 7. Opponents were 30 for 35. Touchdowns, they had 30. Their opponents had 47 touchdowns. They gave up 47 touchdowns last year. Now, I know it's a Vrabel coach defense. It's going to be a totally different defense. But yeah, that's, man, totally different. The Las Vegas Raiders. And I should probably compare these. I might maybe make a video and compare them. The Las Vegas Raiders. Total first downs last year, 310. Opponents, 323. First downs, 78. I really don't know what else to say after that. We only had 78 first downs last year. Oh, that's rushing. Whew. Okay, that's a lot better. I was gonna die. Still, 78 rushing first downs is nothing to hang your hat on, bro. That is trash. Our opponents had 102. As we all know, the Raiders cannot stop the run. Hopefully that changes this year with Pratt. Landon Roberts, hopefully knocking souls out of bodies. Passing, we had 209 first downs. Our opponents, this is going to surprise some people. Our opponents, passing first downs, only had 194 last year. So our defense was pretty solid when it come to the passing game. Except all those players are gone, except for Pal Mal. First downs, bitch, get off me. Penalties, we had 23. Our opponents had 27. Third down conversions, we were 78 for 224. Our opponents were 88 for 221. Fourth down conversions, the Las Vegas Raiders were 14 for 25. Not a bad number. Our opponents were 10 for 13. That's fucking ridiculous. You cannot give up. You cannot give up every third down conversion or fourth down conversion except for 3 they attempted. That's trash, bro. That's trash. Total offensive yards, we had 5,169. Our opponents had 5,648. That is a total difference of 600 and something yards, which is way better than the 1,000-yard difference the Patriots had last year. Offense plays, we had 1,111. Our opponents had 1,090. So our defense was better than we thought with 6 starters out. I think a lot of people don't give our defense credit. Average yards per play on offense, 4.6. Our opponents, 5.2. Total rushing yards, plays, we had 380. Our opponents had 554. That's 100. What the fuck? That's 174 more plays than we had. That ain't right. No. that's 74. Yeah, 74 more rushing plays than we had, which is absolutely ridiculous. Teams average 4.4 yards a carry against us. We averaged 3.6 yards a carry. Um, Passing yards, we had 4,117. Opponents only had 3,989. So again, our defense was way better than what we gave them credit for last year. All right, passing completions, we had 410 attempts. All right, we had 635 attempts. We completed 410. Not very good. Our opponents only had 561 attempts, but they completed 370. That's pretty solid for our defense. We had 16 interceptions. Opponents only 10. We need more takeaways. Passing yards, we averaged 6.5 per play. Our opponents averaged 7.1. We gave up 50 sacks. Our opponents, we only got 38 sacks last year. I think that number, like, times and a half this year. Field goals, we missed 6. Touchdowns, we had 30 touchdowns all year. I hope to God our numbers are better than that. Our opponents had 46 touchdowns. We were out touchdown by 16 touchdowns per game last year. I mean, not per game, for the season. Our opponents scored 16 more touchdowns than us for the season. Absolutely horrendous. Passing touchdowns, touchdowns. Rushing, we had 10. Our opponents had 14. Passing, we had 19. Our opponents had 29. We didn't give up any kick return touchdowns, and we didn't have any. We had 1 defensive score. Our opponents had 3. So, with that being said, man, Patrick Graham's defense was a lot better than people give credit for, with a lot of guys like DeCamarion Richardson taking over for Jacorian Bennett. You had Thomas Harper taking over for Nate Hobbs when he was hurt. You had Jack Jones benched for who the hell even took his place? Sam Webb, Thomas Harper, everybody, everybody, right? So I feel like this Las Vegas Raiders defense didn't get enough credit last year for having 6 starters injured, including Max Crosby, including Malcolm Kuntz, including Christian Wilkins, right? So with all that being said, man, I think this Raiders defense is going to be much, much better than they were last year. I think our offense, it's going to be night and day from last year. So I appreciate everybody in the building. I've been on 1 hour and 22 minutes. Shout out to Raider Fan for Life for another $2 holla. Raiders. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. I will see y'all tomorrow. I will try to set up the computer and do a little bit more breakdown and some film breakdown on the players that we just signed. You know, see what we get out of them. I really want to break down the offensive lineman we just brought in Stone Fotheringham. I really want to break down Brendan Jackson. I think this dude is going to be a problem. He's going to be a huge, huge problem, and he's going to get a lot more grass time than people are projecting. So that's my score. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I think the Raiders have 2 touchdowns, 4 field goals in week 1. We win the game 26-24 in a last-minute field goal. But we're up most of the game, and I think they score in the 4th quarter, you know, to take the lead by 1, but they leave too much time on the clock. So that's my prediction. I think Ashton Genty has close to 100 yards. I don't know if he has quite 100. I would like to see him go over 100. I don't know if he quite, if he gets there. It depends on this offensive line. But I say he has a touchdown, and Brock Bowers has a touchdown. Those are our lone touchdowns. The rest of the game will be field goals. And that's my prediction. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace. As always, much love. Take care of your mind. Take care of your mental health. Take care of your health, your body. Take care of others. Be kind. Love one another. Peace. Raiders. Fuck the other 31. Love y'all.